Passion Jesus 43 my God, why have you forsaken me? My God, why did you abandon me? It is the fourth word of Christ on the cross. This word is overwhelming. It refers to a psalm. A psalm numbered 22 in the Old Testament, which is undoubtedly written by David. My God, why have you abandoned me? Far from being saved, the words that I roar. My God, by day I call, but no answer. At night for me, no silence, and yet you are the saint who lives the praises of Israel. Some scholastic theologians, including Saint Thomas Aquinas, said, these words were spoken by Jesus as a man, in his human nature, to indicate how to pray. So he was reciting the beginning of a psalm. It goes without saying that Saint Thomas Aquinas said this because he thought that Christ on the cross kept the beatific vision in his human intelligence. In this case, he could not know the night of the Spirit, the total night, which is also called despair, which is a trial, which is not a sin. In reality, if Christ wanted to live everything from what we have lived, all possible suffering, if he has not lived despair, then he has lived nothing. Those who suffer know that physical suffering is nothing when morale is high, that anxiety can make you jump under a train, and that despair makes you want to die, so life has no meaning. This word is not only a recited word. It indicates the state of mind of Christ on the cross. We can say that at that moment, he saw the night of the Spirit of which St. John of the Cross speaks, at its summit, a total night, total absence in his human intelligence of all light. His treasure has disappeared. It is as if he had abandoned him. He has not abandoned it, the Father is there, he lives this ordeal as if, and it is real. So it will leave his heart totally changed, totally broken. We do not get out of this normal test. We are not the same afterwards as before. This is why Saint Teresa of Avila places her in the sixth home, and it is she who introduces her to the seventh home. To comment on what Christ says, the Epistle to the Hebrews goes so far as to say this, and if it were not written in Scripture, it would seem that it is heretical, him, Jesus, every son that he was, by a great cry, a great supplication, called the one who could save him from death, and, all son that he was, he learned, from what he suffered, obedience. Has been made perfect. It has been made perfect. Could Christ have been made perfect? He was perfect, all humble, without any sin. Yes. From this purity, this total humility of Christ before the cross, he went to another degree of humility, that of a broken heart, of a heart that suffered, which suddenly knows what others have suffered, not only in theory but in reality. We are never the same after this test. So we can say that after this ordeal, everything is accomplished. Does that also mean that we have to go through this? At one point or another, our time will come in this world or in the next. It's up to us to ask the Blessed Virgin the moment we would prefer, and the best being, this world, but perhaps in the old age. In the other world, it is also purgatory. And why is it necessary? Because no one can acquire a humble heart to see God face to face, without having experienced this moment. And that, when we have experienced it, all our enemies, who have also experienced it, in paradise, become friends. We can no longer condemn them, we can no longer desire revenge, since we ourselves experienced the same thing as them. We therefore become different, very merciful, and we can see God face to face, this infinitely kenotic God, in his Trinitarian life.